Yeah, so welcome again. Today we have our formal lecture, which is the second lecture, and it is about the introduction to wireless network security. Last time we discussed about the course breakdown and the things that what we will cover in this course and how this course is linked with the wireless network security and what are the contents we may discuss, and also we discuss about the assessments and other procedures and the flow of the course. So today is the formal lecture from where we are going to start about the introduction to wireless network security. As we know that this course is wireless network security. So the most important, we have to have the proper understanding that actually what we mean by the wireless network security. As you can see that this course is having a three name: wireless, network, and security. It means something which is a wireless, another thing which can form the network, and the third point is about the security. So we are here in this course to discuss about the security issues and security mechanisms of a network which is actually wireless. So it means that the wireless word is giving us a message that this is a something kind of umbrella. So any gadget, any machine, any equipment, any device which will come under this umbrella if it qualifies to connect wirelessly, including our Bluetooth devices, wireless handsets, cell phones, our laptops, etc. Anything else could be. Sorry. So today we are going to understand the theme of our course and the theme of the wireless network security, and also we will try to understand that what are the common threats to the wireless network security. So if you allow me to change the slide, these are the different icons you can experience at the different places. They all are actually representing to the wireless somehow. So you can see the satellite, you can see wireless, you can see the hotspots, you can see cellular phones, sorry, you can see the telecommunication tower in it, you can see the laptop, you can see the buildings, homes, Wi-Fi, and so on. So these all comes under the wireless network. And if they come under the wireless network, it means in this course, we are supposed to discuss about the security mechanisms, security issues, and security challenges about these all are any one of them or more than one of them from this group. So this is the basic understanding that you have to understand that what we mean by the wireless network. So you may not have a misunderstanding that this is a something which is having a one entity. No, but it is the group of things. So wireless is an umbrella which can having so many things or so many devices or so many gadgets under it, like what you can see from this picture. So now if we just move to the next point, we are trying to understand why we are so much concerned about the wireless network security. Is it really important? Or how much the share of the wireless network and devices and gadgets have in our life, and how much we are dependent on them. So that's why we may have to think about that. So now for this, you can see this slide and upcoming two more slides. We took this data from the Cisco. And this is their report for the Cisco 2019 annual cyber security report. They are taking these 3 slides from there. So you can see the reference at the right bottom. So the report is suggesting that the more IoT devices are connecting every day. Probably we are thinking that how much more, maybe in number, hundreds and thousands or millions, but you can see from the first point, I just put the red lines under it, so you just focus on that, that over 20 billion connected things will be in use by 2020. This report is by the end of 2019, and right now we are in a 2020, so the report is saying that it will be 20 billion. So what it means, that it was not a mean that at that time in 2019 the connected devices were only 100,000 or million or something. So it means we were very close to that figure at that time as well, at the time of the report. Number 2, they are suggesting that the users can work anywhere across the many devices. I believe the best example for that is that what we are doing now. All of you are sitting at a very different locations and different places, and your instructor is sitting at a different place, but we are able to conduct our classes, lectures, labs, and everything. So that's what the report was suggesting, that the users can work anywhere and you be using any kind of a device. And also they suggested that by 2020, the 2/3 of all the traffic will be from wireless mobile devices. Now, what he means by this traffic, it means the network traffic, the bandwidth, that will be having 2/3 of all the network share, traffic share, that will be means taken by the wireless devices, wireless network in other way. So this is something which is showing us that how much wireless network is important. 2/3, it means that is the almost taking more than 33% of, or even it is taking even more, because the 2/3, not even 33. So the 2/3 of all the traffic it's taking, so it means it is taking with the 20 billion connected devices. Now the question is that these 20 billion connected devices and this much share of the wireless network, it is not an easy go in so many different aspects. One is that we need a backbone, we need a infrastructure, we need a network which support this network, this much number of the devices to keep them connected, and the traffic will be in smooth. That is also a big challenge, but that's not the part of our course at this moment. That's a part of the network administrators and network other means segment, not for our segment. Our segment is that we are supposed to see that how much this network is actually secure. Even though if suppose we have the infrastructure, we are able to connect, we have 3G, 4G, and 5G connectivity, and we have a very high bandwidth data rate, but then how much we are secure. So you can see from the right top corner, the third red line is showing that the threats are more means complex and more in number, which will be means the companies experienced the 27.4% average increase in security breaches. So it was in 2019 and it will be increasing in 2020. Now what you see, this report is saying it is not that 27.4% will be the breach, but it's saying that 27.4% will be more breaches in the security. You will learn in upcoming weeks. You will find out from the market data. I'm just giving you one example here, just to open your mind, that you are using your Android cell phones. And for Android cell phones, we are using to use any app from the Android App Store, so Google Play Store. So probably most of you are not aware, most of you are aware but not accurately. People are thinking that maybe the apps we have in billions of apps are available there. So these all of the apps are secure, are at least 50% or 30% or 20% are secure. But you will be amazed in the upcoming weeks, we will see the market data. You will be finding that more than a 97% of the apps, they are not secure. Either they are vulnerable, either they are already exposed, or either they are already compromised in the past. So we will discuss about them, about the each data and their detail, when, how it happened. It's not only as we are saying that's fact, but no. So this is the actually a strong message, a strong need that why we need the wireless network security. So the fourth point, which you can see from here, which is again at the right and down side corner, is saying that the threats are using encryption to actually find out the and means go to means attack the networks, and they're using the different mechanisms. And mainly they are trying to means attack on the communication channels. So this is the more dangerous thing. And they are saying that its ratio is almost 3 times more compared to the each year. While we are moving ahead, the attacks ratio is increasing 3 times more. The devices are also increasing with the same ratio. Network dependency is also increasing with the same ratio, but the attack ratio is also increasing with the same ratio. Not even same ratio, but it's a 3 times more. So now this is why we're saying that we are moving to the digitalization world, but at the same time, there is a challenge of the security of it. It seems that maybe someone out of you has a mic unmute. So please mute your mic so the voice will be clear to everyone. Thank you. Now, if we just go to the next slide, as we discussed that these 3 slides are taken from the Cisco. So you can see from here that this complexity, like what we were discussing in our previous slide, that the security is going to be, the gap for the security is increasing day by day. We were suggesting that the 3 times more security issues will be there in the next year, and this is going on. So why we are saying like that? We must have some solid reason behind that. So the solid reason behind that is what we are trying to explain on this slide. So with the time, we are increasing the number of the devices, increasing their heterogeneity, increasing their complexity, and increasing the bandwidth speed. These all are the factors. They are increasing the security gap. So if we just go back the 10 years before, then the security issues were there, but not at the same level as like what we have right now. For sure, at that time, we don't have the same number of applications, same number of the network infrastructure, same bandwidth. It was limited. And at that time, most of the secure and security encryption algorithms, techniques, methods, they were used for the wired network, and they were, compared to today, they were safer. So now this is actually the reason behind it, that now what is happening with the time, we don't have a control on heterogeneity of the devices. We don't have a control on the complexity, because everyone is trying to digitalize the world. People were saying smart cities, then they come to the Internet of Things, then they come to the Internet of Everything, then they come to the Internet of Medical Things, and so on and so on. So this is actually increasing the complexity, and this is actually increasing the bandwidth from 4G to 5G, and now the people started working on the 6G. And at the same time, if you just Google for the wireless, the researcher already started working for the 7G, which is for the wireless. So for sure, what will be means the difference. So the few months back, I just go through one of the article. They mentioned that they already tested a one chip for the wireless, which can carry the data for the 36 dB per second. Because we cannot increase the speed, bandwidth, until we don't have a hardware support as well. Say, for example, if suppose we don't have a cell phone in our hand which does not support the 5G, we cannot use the 5G services on that because of the hardware dependability. So the researchers are working to improve the hardware, software, bandwidth, network, infrastructure, and everything. This all is actually leading towards the more security issues. That is the actual reason. That's why we were discussing that how the security is increasing day by day. Security issues are increasing day by day. Security concerns are increasing day by day. So we can see from this third slide that they are trying to say that if suppose this is the case, then what we have to do, either we stop working, either we say that it is not good to go for the wireless. We cannot stop our growth. We cannot say that we have to stop ourselves, but we need remedy. The remedy is what we need: the network and plus security. So for that, what we need the genius peoples like you, the security engineers like you, who has to understand these threats, vulnerabilities, and issues, and then they have to address it. Then they have to suggest how to address it. Then they have to train the people how to address it. Then they have to teach the people that how to use the internet. Maybe you will be thinking that what I'm saying, yeah, this is the true thing. The true thing is the user behavior. The most hackers are getting success just because of the user behaviors. Most of the users, they are not aware how safely use the internet, even their email, even their chat groups and other things. So they are the one, they are providing the pointers to the hackers. They are the one who are bringing the threats to their homes, to their personal machines, and to their organizations. Don't consider that all of the people, they are very much aware and they know that how to use the internet and other things, because you belongs to this technical school, but the other people, they don't. Most of the people among the university level, they are, even being a professor, they don't know most of the things common which you are doing, that how to deal them. There are so many examples about that. So you can find out, we can share, we can discuss about that. So now what you are supposed to do, you are supposed to understand the behavior of the traffic. Whenever we say here the traffic, it means the network traffic. So please don't confuse it. So you have to understand the behavior of the traffic. You have to identify the host. You have to understand the user behavior, who is using the internet. Whenever we are saying internet, it means actually for the devices while they are using the internet. You have to see everything completely. You have to have a visibility, how much data you are receiving, how much packets are going. Is there any Trojan there? Is there any honeypot is there? Is there any thread is there? Is there any issues there? Is there any other hacker is there who is trying to attack you, or already your machine is compromised? So you will learn with the time that how you can keep an eye on that. And then, being a security engineer, you are supposed to keep secure your machines, your organization's machines, and yourself as well. So these were the 3 slides. We took it from the Cisco, just to give a proper brainstorming that why we are saying that wireless network security, and why we have this course, and how it's important, and how it is linked with the real world. So I hope that you get the proper understanding about that how much this is a big umbrella, a big word. wireless network. Now we are coming again back after giving you the proper idea, just to discuss a few more things, to understand the few more types of the network. So you can see from here, everybody knows that what is the wireless network. So the wireless networks are very much flexible in communication. And we use them to implement using the electromagnetic waves. Normally, we also call them the radio frequencies, such as the radio frequencies, infrareds, satellites, to transmit and receive the data over the air medium. Mostly, and most of the people understand that wireless network, it means that it will be completely wireless. So you have to correct your imagination about that. It is not correct. Whenever we talk about the wireless network, the wireless network is always a combination of the wire and wireless network. So you can see the Wi-Fi at your campus, at your home, at any other place. You will find it out that the router of that one is connected with the wire network. So it is the combination of the wired and wireless network. So you have to be clear about this point. Then the next is communication network. It provides the connectivity to wireless devices anywhere, anytime, with the high flexibility, provided that the devices are within the range. Now this slide, probably you already go through or you are knowing about that, just for your brainstorming, that the wireless network is of different type, and each of the wireless network is actually of different type based on its service, based on its applications, based on its coverage area. So just this slide to give you again a brainstorming that how and what are the different type of the wireless standards there which are responsible looking for the wireless networks. Don't consider that these are the only what we are showing you on this slide, but this is the only to just give you an idea about that. But there are so many and you will learn with time. So you can see from here, the first one is the PAN. PAN is actually personal area network. What is standard of IEEE it is using? So at IEEE 802, this is actually the standard for the wireless. And then we have an extensions. So then the LAN, then we have the MAN, then we have the WAN. So these all are actually having the different range of operations. Coverage on the basis of the coverage. And we will learn, we will see the different types later on, because this is your introduction to this lecture is introduction based. Now, sorry, you can see from here, there could be so many types as we discussed, but just to share with you the few of them here, you just understand what they are. Number one is the ad hoc network. It is also the wireless network, sorry, a type of the wireless network. So in ad hoc network is a type of network. It means that someone can come, can join, and someone can go at his own wish. So the network is temporary. Sorry. So the network is temporary. So you can see, like suppose while you are coming to the campus, you are joining the Wi-Fi and then you are going back. The second is the cellular network, which we are using and we are knowing them very popularly. Commonly, we are saying this is the mobile data. That mobile data is actually known as the telecommunication network or cellular network. The third thing is about the sensor network. The most of the Internet of Things and other things, they goes to this one. And then the fourth part is about the satellite network, which we are using in our daily life on a daily basis for so many times. Even you're watching your TV channels, also using your satellites, and so many other types of the wireless network. So here we just show you the few of them, so you just understand it, what type of the wireless networks we mean actually. Now you can see from here, what are the technologies which are actually enabling these wireless networks? because as we said, that there are so many different. What we mean by the different, it means that we have different cellular networks, we have ad hoc networks, we have sensor networks, we have satellite networks. So the technology which enables them is different. What mechanism we are using for the satellite is different. The mechanism what we are using for the cellular phones, what we call the GSM, UMTS, 3G, 4G. GSM is Global System for Mobile. UMTS is stand for the Universal Mobile Telecommunication System. 3G, 4G, you already know about that. And we are using the Wi-Fi, the LAN, which is the wireless fidelity. And then we have the different gigahertz of the speed and so on. We are using the WiMAX. Most of us we are using. Probably maybe you not know about that. We'll explain you in the upcoming classes that what it is. We're using Bluetooth. We are using the different other types of the wireless networks. We're using RFID. We're using NFC. So for each of them, the technology which enables them is a different. So with this slide, we try to just provide that detail for your understanding, that you can understand, that you can understand that which technology is actually enabling to which one. So this is for your understanding. So probably you know about sensor networks, Zigbee networks, and so many different networks. But see here, you will find wherever the standards you can see this is 802, 802, 802. And we will have in upcoming lectures that why 802, 802, 802 is always there. So this is again for your brainstorming. Going ahead, applications of the wireless network. The applications of the wireless network may be in hundreds or maybe more. We cannot enlist them in one slide, but just a few to let you know for your better understanding. We have infrastructure based, like suppose we have in organizations, in corporations, in industry. We have Wi-Fi access for any data. We have infrastructure-less type of the network, where we count the hop and multi-hop and so many other things, which comes sensor network, ad hoc network, mesh network, and so many different type of the network. We have RFID, tags and identity. We have different types of the network, where we work for the topologies, where we work for the locations, where we use it for the data, and so many different things. So again, this is a brainstorming. You can say that these are the crops of the wireless application, because in infrastructure, there are so many. In Wi-Fi, there are so many applications. In infrastructure less, there are again so many. RFID, we are using in so many different patterns. So this is how you can understand that how it is, the applications of the wireless network. Now the possible network configuration, wireless network configuration, could be more, but this is the most importantly that what we see that how we are configuring. Number one is extension to a wired network. For true, if you remember, we just discussed that wireless network is actually not a completely wireless, but it is actually means at the back end and backbone is the wire. So that's why we call it extension to a wire network. Now after that, we say LAN to LAN, means where we have the two LANs, so we can join those two LANs together using the wireless medium. We may have a multiple access points in the one network, not the one. We may have multiple access points. We may have 3G, 4G hotspots, and there are so many different possible network configurations for the wireless network. What are the advantages? Everybody knows the advantages very clearly. Everybody can say high mobility, high flexibility, and very low cost, and it prevents so many flaws. No administration is required. Everybody can configured and connected successfully, easily. No administrator is required. because previously for the previous networks, everything is required. Automatically it works on the DHCP and so on. We just enlist here a few for a better understanding. Disadvantages. The major disadvantage is actually low bandwidth, less reliable. Less reliable, it means not with concern with the security. Less reliable is actually that the wireless networks are not reliable in terms of the bandwidth. If you have a wireless connectivity, sometimes it will go to the 10 Mbps, 100 Mbps, 20 Mbps, whatever the bandwidth you have, it will not be constant, but it will be moving up and down and so on. So this is the most disadvantage. And then the next most disadvantage is actually about they are exposed to the security. Why it is exposed to the security? The reason, other than the things what we discussed, that there are so many issues, user behaviors, network bandwidth, and so many other things. But they are exposed to security. This statement doesn't mean that those network with the conventional network, conventional means those old networks with the wired, they are safe and this network, wireless network, are not safe. This means that they are comparatively, wireless networks are comparatively more exposed to any issue. The reason is because in wireless network, whatever the technology we are using to enable our networks, but on top of that, our data packets, they travel in open medium. And in open medium, this is the actually major concern. This is the reason which actually bring so many concerns to the wireless medium, to the wireless network, because packets are available to anyone. Now going ahead, the issue says what we discussed it, why it is. So you can see that no inherent physical protection. There is no physical protection in your wireless network. There is no administrator is there. There is no any specific central administration or specific any additional or central antivirus is there, or special central any monitoring on your device is there. No, nothing is there. Physical connections between the device are replaced in logical actually applications. So sending and receiving your messages do not physically access to the network infrastructures, like for the cables and hubs, switches, routers, etc., which are being controlled in case of the conventional network. For sure, your traffic goes using these things, but because they are using the open medium. So attackers can be far away in case of the physical protection or the conventional network, but here they have the chance to catch your data, can have access to your data. So normally, because wireless we are using, they are the radio networks. Generally, they have a broadcast in nature. They are not point to point, generally means maximum part of it. So the transmission can be overheard by anyone in the range. So while you are using your wireless network, within the range means the coverage, anybody else also can hear your communication or conversation of data. So this is why this is the more dangerous one. So probably the other devices are hackers, they can create the interference and they can create a trouble for your transmissions. And also sometimes they can go for the jamming and so many other things. So there are so many issues in the wireless network, other than even hacking your data, but also sometimes your frequencies can be disrupted by the external forces or external resources which can affect the data transmission as well. So you remember that we just discussed a few minutes before that in wireless medium, this is a challenge for us, that the bandwidth is not constant. So it is up and down. So that is the reason. Now, this is the reason because the packets can be reached to anyone. So that's why eavesdropping is very easy in this type of the networks. The other people can inject bogus messages into your network, and they can replaying your previous recorded messages also easily, because your data packets, while they are traveling, they are in a range, within the range they are available to anyone. They can take your data packets, they can inject the bogus information in it, they can replace it, they can record them, they can try to remove a part of it, or they can keep sending your packets again and again. So also they can create a jamming for you, and also they can create a DOS attack, DDoS attack for you as well, because within that range they are having an access, which is not common in the conventional type of the network. So this is how it is different from that network, and that's why we are saying that this is exposed to the security issues highly. So now I hope that you understand that why this is more why this is more security issues in this type of network. The reason is actually, the main reason is actually, beside of the other reasons, that is the open medium. And wireless communication, this is, till now we were discussing that there are so many issues and problems because of this, but at the same point it's very important, and so many other things. All of the world is going towards the beyond the wireless network. So we realized whatever the issue is, but we cannot live without a wireless communication. So now we have to think that how we can make them secure. And for that, we have to think that what kind of the security requirements are required for the wireless network or for the wireless communication. Whenever we say wireless communication, it means it's a part of the wireless network. So what type of the requirements are required for the wireless communication to make it safe? We need, number one, a CIA. I hope the security guys, they know about the CIA, what it is. CIA is actually confidentiality, integrity, authenticity, and also on top of that, we need to have access control and protection against jamming. Like suppose if we provide confidentiality, authenticity, integrity, everything, but if suppose we are failed to provide the jamming, then again these things will be meaningless for us. So these are the 5 things. So you can say it CIAAP. These are the 5 things: confidentiality, integrity, authenticity, access control, and the protection against jamming. If we as a security engineer can provide these things, then we can say that the wireless network means reliable, trustable, and we can use it with high trust. So I hope that you know about what's the confidentiality, authenticity, integrity, and access control from your previous courses. And in case you don't, we provide the definitions also there, so you can just go through with it. And also in case if suppose you have any issue, you can discuss, and we will also discuss in the upcoming classes. Now we need to know that how we can provide these things, which is the CIAAP. For that, we need to know what are the ways how the security breaches occur in the wireless network. So these are actually the 4 steps, very common 4 steps involved in security breach in wireless mediums. What they are: finding the network, study the traffic, study the security mechanism, and then attack. This is the sequence for security breach. Finding a network, we cannot stop anyone to find our network. So anybody who is in among a range, they can find the network, not an issue. study its traffic. So they can see the traffic, how the traffic is going, what data packets, what sites we are visiting, what channel we are using, so on and so on. Then they will study the security mechanism. What type of security is there? If we really provide CIAAP, if we really have the sum, means proper methods, then probably this sequence will be break at this stage. If no, otherwise what happened, hacker will be successful and it will reach to the last stage, which is the attack stage. So I hope that you understand the security breaching sequence, what it means by. Now, once if suppose they breach the security, what type of attacks they could do on our network? So for that, again, for your brainstorming, we have to understand the type of the attacks. There are so many, but the main type of attacks, they can classify in two groups. One is the passive attack, other one is the active attack. The difference among them is, in the passive attack, it's very hard for us to detect, because in passive attack, the attackers, they are trying to be part of our network, but they are trying to get information about our network, but they are not bringing any loss to us. Why? It doesn't mean that they will not bring a loss, but they are trying to do their homework, that how they can finally in and how they can bring a loss to us. So if you allow me, we can go back. So like you can see in the sequence order, the second thing is the study its traffic. So the passive attackers, they will be living on the second step and the third step. And they are doing their homework to collect the information and the data to prepare themselves for the second stage, which is the active attacks. Now, active attack can be after passive attack, or in some of the cases, maybe the active attack can come directly. But to make a successful active attack, always they need to have the passive attack, because the passive attack will provide them all the information about the network, and then only they can be able to reach to their desired aim. In active attack, the messages will be disturbed. Either the attacker can change the contents of the message, either he can redirect the contents of the message, either he or she can replace the completely contents of the message, or either he can modify the things, or either he can bring the denial of service, flooding, or anything, whatever it is. So now you understand that if suppose any attack is bringing a change in our network, then bringing a loss, then it means it comes to the under the classification of active attack. While any attack on our network or on our machine, which is not bringing a advanced loss or anything else, but it is taking the information, most of the time we even don't know about the passive attack. The third thing is that is known as the most existing attacks nowadays. They are very clever. They are using the combination of the active and passive attack at the same time. So these are the classifications of the attacks. Now we are just trying to review the few of the attacks from both of the classification or both of types from the active and passive attack. So you just try to understand that what type of the attacks are there and how they can harm to our machines. So you can see in here, snooping or the eavesdropping attack. This is the same name for the one of the common attack. In this, what the attacker is doing, he is trying to listen your communication, access privately to your emails, access privately to your screenshots, access privately to your secrets, the data in your machines. And the thing is that as a user, you are not able to know about that. Attackers knows about you. Attackers knows about your frequency, your modulation, your coding, your other details, your encryption, and so many other things. because he is trying to get the information, to doing his homework, in other words, to prepare himself or herself for the next active attack. So that's why we say that it is used to start the further attacks. So this is a kind of recce, the word what we are using, recce, whenever something we want to do, is a kind of preparation for a huge attack. Now, in a snooping attack, it's a passive attack. We just put it in the bracket so you may not be getting confused. So the snooping attack it is the eavesdropping attack is the same name. So again, you may not be confused for this. So in this attack, what happened? What's the proposed solution is for that is, in case if suppose this type of attack is there, then we have to use the WEP 802.11i. This is an encryption. WEP is stand for Web Equivalent Protection. That is the first protocol. That is the first encryption protocol. We call sometime protocol, we call sometime encryption, we call sometime encryption technique. Okay, these all refers to the same thing, so not to be confused. Okay, then was the Web Equivalent Protocol was the first designed and commonly used for the wireless, but now it is means not as useful, and we have so many different protocols you will learn with the time. But it was, at that time, it was okay. It was just only able to try to find it out, but it was not 100% useful. When we mean, what we mean that it's not 100% useful, it means that it does not have a security or surety that if suppose you are applying the WEP 802, so then you will not having snooping. There is no surety about that. So this was the issue with the snooping. But as we mentioned here, but is encryption is enough? Like what we already discussed, no, it's not enough. An attacker can still perform traffic analysis and encrypted data from your machine. It can, for example, identify a number of the access point and wireless devices and eventually the network topologies. So the users can get the information about you. Your voice over IP language can be identified, what you are using. So this is how snooping is means performing, and snooping is comes under the group of the passive attack. Further details about the snooping attack, which is a passive attack. What are the implications of the means antenna directionally or security? So attackers can eavesdrop the communication from much longer distances than anticipated. So they are using these type of attacks on your networks, on your satellites, on telecommunication devices, on your cell phones. They are trying to use the antennas. They are trying to increase the area, coverage area. They're trying to use the Bluetooth and so many other things. And then they are trying to increase the coverage, and as they can get the more information about you. This is a kind of preparation to bring your machine under attack. Now we are moving to the second type, which is the man in the middle attack. Now this man in the middle attack is actually an active attack. In this, whenever we see the man in the middle attack, those people who are from the security, they understand, and those who are doing the this course as an extension, for them, just understanding man in the middle attack. Whenever we talk about these attacks, it means it's security attacks, and security attacks is for the communication. And how it's for communication, it means that you know about alias and Bob concept. Alias is a one, is sending the data packets to the Bob. So whatever is happening in between while the data packets are reaching from alias to the Bob. So man in the middle attack, it means the one is in between there. Before the packets reach to the Bob, something will be happen to the packet. What something happened? Packet destroyed, packet change, packet means alteration is there, or whatever it is. So the attacker have a power to modify your data. That's known as man in the middle attack. This is the one type of the attack. This comes under the active attacks. And he can set up the bogus access point, what we call BAP, BAP. So BAP is actually bogus access point. Even he can create a bogus access point. Okay, so you as a user maybe keep sending your data that this access point is mine. You are not knowing what happened. So he can take your whole traffic, whole data. Then they can do the client association to BAP. Means also they can invite the clients, so many clients. So he can get the data from the different. So the clients will not know that this is the bogus or fake access point or this is the right one. So BAP gets message, decrypt them, modify them, and send them back to the destination. So he will not disrupt the messages from going to the Bob. Message will go from Alice to Bob, but message will go with his own wish, his own opinion after modification, after its changes. That is the concept in man-in-the-middle attack. So you can see from here, from this figure, it's more easy for you to understand that the data packets are going from here. They are supposed to reach from the gateway to the host. This should be the bottom arrow should be the right way to be reached there. But when the data packets are reaching there, so you can see that it is going from one other direction, which is the attacker is there, and the attacker is trying to change the data. So you can see from here, the contents what they are sending, they are changing. Attacker is changing. The contents what they are sending, it is the HHHH and AAA, and when it's reaching, this is DDDD and blah, blah, blah. This is only one example just to brief you that how man-in-the-middle attack is working. So you can see from here, one more figure, which can give you a more clear idea about the man-in-the-middle attack. So there is a user, want to connect with the printer, or want to connect with the Wi-Fi, or want to connect with any device. So straight away, no issue with green signal. But when in man-in-the-middle attack, so the person will be feeling that he is connected with the same device without any issue. He will not be knowing that what is happening with his data. And this man-in-the-middle attack is a very critical attack. Most of the time, the hackers, they are using for the financial transactions because they can try to modify your transactions and then they can post. So anyway, in other different cases also, it is being used very critically. Now, another type of the attack under the active attacks is the denial of service. I hope that all of you are knowing about this. In this, the goal of the attacker is not to damage your machine completely. But in this attack, their aim is to damage your network traffic, damage your operations. And they do this by flooding your network. What happened? Your server have a capacity, as an example for your understanding, better understanding, that it can entertain 300 requests at a time. What they will do, they will flooding the traffic more than a 300. So server will feel that he is receiving the maximum capacity request, and now the actual or genuine request, when they will go to the server, the message will come that server is busy. You are not able to access. The denial of service attack, DDoS attack, they goes with time. For a few minutes, could be for a few minutes, could be for a few hours, could be for days. The most longest was one time in one company, it was for a few weeks as well. And in the upcoming classes, I will also show you the live graph for the denial of service. So you can see the running graph from the previous years and right from now, from there to today, so you can see that how DDoS attack is happening around the globe and how much it is impacting the traffic. Now DDoS attack, you can see from here, this figure is more clear for your better understanding, that here there are the 4 users. They have a capability and capacity to connect with the access point with the green lines. So they don't have any issue. They can connect whenever they have any transactions they want to do. It is successful. But what happened after the attack? After the attack, now the access point is kept busy by the DDoS attack. When these 4 people are trying to access So the message is that it is overloaded or whatever it is, but they are not able to connect with this one. So this is how they are trying to redirect or flooded or overloaded the traffic to disturb the traffic. Now, this is, I hope you understand. Now, what are the issues are the losses are the adversaries from the jamming or the DDoS attack? The jamming and DDoS attack are very close, because in DDoS, we are also trying to jam the network by sending the multiple extra requests. So actual thing is that during these attacks, we are trying to capture the network in a way that nobody other can be able to access the network, to disturb the network. This is the main issue, our main goal, our main target for these attacks. So you can see from here, this figure, we try to include the figures as well, so you can understand the things more clearly. You can see from here, so this is for the Wi-Fi jamming. Before, there is no jamming, anybody can be able to access or connect. Now, while it's a jamming scenario, so everybody is within the range, but they are not able to connect with this one. Now, sorry. In this way, there are so many different attacks as well. So today we are just discussing the few of the attacks just to give you the understanding, just for your brainstorming. So the next attack, not the second, but the next attack is the Evil Twin attack. So you can see that these are the numbers, sequence numbers, that how the evil sequence attack can come and how it can affect your regular transmission and how it disrupts your communication. So in the same way, there are so many different attacks as well, like what we discussed for the evil twin attacks, DDoS attack, jamming attack, and the eavesdropping attack, and man in the middle attack, and so many different things. So you will learn with time. Now this is something even more further in a way we call as rogue access point. What's a rogue access point? So this concept of the rogue access point is very dangerous. What happened in any of the corporate sector, the hackers, even though you can see from this figure that the network is protected, firewall is there, everything is there, but what happened if suppose hacker has access to that particular network, and then he or she may install one fake access point. A fake access point is known as the rogue IP. Rogue IP is actually means a fake access point. Now what happened? The entire corporation will be trusting that this access point is trustworthy because it's a part of the network. And this is under the boundary of the security as well. But now the hacker can access any part of the network using his rogue access point. And also he can invite or she can invite the other users easily. This concept is very dangerous. Most probably and most of the time, this type of attacks are happen by what we call employees are inside. This is also we call the inside attack as well. So you can see that that's why we mentioned that most of the rogue access points that are installed by the employees, malicious users are by mistake. Sometimes it has happened by the mistake as well. But this is the most dangerous type of the hacking mechanism as well. So you can see from here, again, here is a picture to elaborate you the more understanding about the fake access point. And it is very dangerous. That's what we discussed in our previous slide as well. Now the wireless LAN basic security mechanisms are what? These are the attacks, and there are so many attacks we'll discuss. So now, top of that, we know what's the importance of the wireless network. We know how is the growth of the wireless network. We know about the applications of the wireless network. We know about the future of the wireless networks. We know how much we are dependent on the wireless network. We know how much it is open to the threats and risks already. And also we know that how many different ways that this network can be compromised. And we also know that how we can make it secure. We know what are the requirements to make it secure. Like you remember, we just discussed CIAAP. And we also discussed the different issues and the different type of the attacks like active and passive. But now the thing is, finally, we need a security mechanism. So how we can provide a security mechanism? Again, the same pattern, like we have so many different ways to harm it. In the same way, we have a different mechanisms, protocols to try to protect it. We cannot claim that we will make, or we are able to make the wireless network 100% secure. This claim is a big claim. We cannot, but we can make it secure, safer, comparatively better. So the mechanisms are SSID blocking, where we say that hiding the SSID. SSID, what is the SSID? That is actually the description or the name of your access point. We can use the MAC filtering, registering the MAC addresses for the authenticated devices. So we just allow them to access our network, not to the others. These are the mechanisms. We can apply the wireless encryption techniques, wireless encryption protocols, and like suppose we can apply WEP, which is old enough now, and it's known as the wired equivalent privacy. A few minutes before we also discussed about that. We can apply WPA, which is the Wi-Fi Protect Access. We can apply Wi-Fi Protect Access 2, which is the WPA2, and so many other encryption techniques are to just try to make it as safe as it is possible. Now, the security checklists, while we are using the wireless networks, we have to have these type of things keep in our mind. This will help us to enhance the security. That's what the points are. Instead of using the WPA, that's what we just discussed. Sorry, instead of using the WAP, it's better to use WPA because WAP is the first wired equivalent protocol, and it is not as much secure. We will discuss them in detail, and also we will discuss them that how they are different from each other and what are their security level in upcoming lectures. Then if it's enterprise, then better that we may use the WPA2. And also we need to secure our AP. AP, it means access point. Huh? So access point at the secured location. So maybe any rogue information, rogue access point, or any other person may not means physically or logically access it, mainly about the physically. Change our keys regularly. Change our passwords regularly for your access points, for your cell phones, for your machines, for your emails, for everything. It's more good. Key should be more than the 20 characters combination, special characters, numbers, alphabetics. It's not 100% secure, but it is considered as in the safe zone that your password is comparatively better. Minimum requirement of the password length from where we can consider that now it's means towards the reliable, that is the 16 character. But most of us are using the password like 123, yeah, or our name and 123, or anything's name or 123. Some people are only using 123, and some people are just using admin, and some people are just using password. So you remember that at the start, we said that the user behavior is highly important. That is the one major source which gives the chances to the hackers to hack your network. So we have to be careful not to do these mistakes. And we have to apply the admin page protections, and we have to apply the MAC address filtering. Do not use the DHCP openly. Like suppose if you just go for your access points, by default, it have a capacity to handle means a great number of the users. If you know that in your home how many people you are, so you can means put the range for that. And we have to monitor about the rogue access point monitoring. We have to scan our network all the time, see that how many access points we have, even it's organization, even it's our home, because we are the one who knows it how many we have. So we can identify that in case you suppose the access points are more or less. So what's the issue from where they come or where they been spent. So this is the constant wireless auditing. This is known as a constant wireless auditing. So I just put a one sample for you. It's a password sample. So you can see from hash, EY, blah, 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 blah. We're trying to be safe. But the thing is, if suppose we use this type of the password, it's hard for us to remember as well. So we have to take care with how much password we can means increase, and then we have to remember. And the good practice is that we have to practice these all of the things and keep changing time to time passwords. Thank you very much for your attention, and I hope that you enjoyed the lecture, even though it is means due to the MCO it is online. If you are face to face, and hope that soon we will be face to face, then you will enjoy the more. We can give you the more examples by the using the whiteboards and other things. So wish you best of luck. And now we are just this is the last slide of our lecture. We are ending it up. So we will stop the recording first, and then if you have a question, or even we are not stopping the recording, if you have any question, you may ask the question. So if you don't have a question, or once you're done with the questions, and then we will stop recording, and after that we will go for the attendance. So best of luck, and thank you very much again. So now please let me know if you have any question or anything which you want to share, which you want to discuss. You are most welcome. Your attendance, I can see that almost there, maybe the only few students are missing. So I hope you enjoyed the lecture. Any question, any concern, any point, please, most welcome. No question?
No.
That's really great. It means that you understand the things very well. That's really great. And I hope that your lab is on this week and your tutorial was already done. I hope that you enjoy the tutorials as well. So just do the job in the groups. That's great. Now we're just going to stop the recording, and then we are going for your attendance. For attendance, I will call the names using our CMS system. So I will just take a 1 minute to bring the CMS system online, and we'll share with you as well, so you can see your numbers and we can go for attendance. Thank you very much once again. So this is here, we are stopping.